Welcome to the Be Accuracy ERP in Action tutorial. So in this series of videos, we have been seeing about international business management or the global trade. The next step before we go to the product costing, we need to update the logistics agent charges. So for that, we need to create an inquiry for logistics CHA requirement. So we keep the same reference of our buyer. We enter a new inquiry to CHA agent. So let's say my CHA agent is LMN Cargo Services and probably based in Chennai. And then I keep the specification same, mode of shipment same, freight and CHA charges are unknown. And then I keep CIF, which is the Incoterms, and then calculate the CBM. So with Be Accuracy ERP, you have the integrated CBM calculation. So you don't need to take your calculators. So you just go to S, click it, and then you have a CBM calculator. So since it's a C cargo, we click S, and the amount or the quantity what we are selling was very less, so might be it won't go to a full container load. So we'll choose LCL, which is less than container load, and then we put per package or per bag dimension, which is 67 in this case for the red chili, in length and in width 43, and in height 11. Number of units, so in this total requirement was 700 bags, so we put 700, and per bag size is like 10 kgs. So we are adding this to the CBM. So do we have any more item? No, this is only one item, so we click no. And this is your total cargo weight. So it's instantly calculated. Now, there is always a dilemma when it comes to container load. Should I go with FCL, full container load, or LCL, less container load? And with that confusion, you always choose most of the cases LCL, because you might end up thinking that my product, which I'm going to send to my buyer in export, they might not be giving me a full container order or maybe less than a container order. But that choice can be easily determined with Be Accuracy ERP. So now what if I give FCL and I go for 20 feet, the same container size and the general type container, and I give the same bag unit of measurement, 67 as a length, 43 as a width, and 11 as a height. And before I enter the bags, number of bags required, I get an insight in Be Accuracy ERP that one full container, which is 20 feet container in this case, a general cube height type, requires 1031 bags of this particular product which you are shipping. Let's say in this case it's red chili. So that insight gives you how much bag should you need to increase from your existing inquiry what you have from a buyer. So in this scenario, if your buyer is capable of increasing from 700 to 1031, that will exactly fill your container load that you're going to send it to the export country. But what if your buyer doesn't agree? That also gives you an insight. Should you go with the full size container or should I go for a less container? In this case, that you have 700 bags and you're entering and you want to add it as a CBM and you don't have any other additional to add, so give no, and you get an insight that your container is 67% filled. This gives exactly a point where you can decide, should I go for an FCL or should I go for an LCL? And in this scenario, since we have taken LCL as an example, we will move forward with LCL. And then we click continue, and once we press the CBM calculation, you get the CBM value, and which is the exact information that you need to communicate to the CHA agent for getting the freight and the CHA charges. So we keep the same terms, which is Jibalali port for delivery, and we wait for the confirmation. Port of loading was confirmed, and then the cargo type will be LCL C cargo, which is less container C cargo. And then we click enter to modify so that this is saved. Now since we have the quotation ready, the format is instantly generated, so we go to the reference number, and here is our letter to CHA agent asking for quotation with the specification of the product, CBM calculation, payment terms, delivery terms, and the C and the CHA charges will be filled by the CHA agent. So once we have received, the quotations from the CHA, we again go to this CHA RFQ and we re-enter the reference number, and then we can enter the value. Let's say if the CHA agent has given you a quotation for 50,000 as a freight and CHA charges as 30,000, we enter it, and then we press CBM calculation, which says the freight and CHA quotation is received. Yes. Now we close by modifying it, and it is recorded. So once we received, we have the quotation received confirmation that we again send it to the CHA, just to reconfirm the values and the information, and to also give them a shipment schedule for us to move forward. So we'll wait for their shipment schedule, which will be basically after the POs with the factory. So currently this is it for the RFQ of CHA. Now the next process will be involving product costing. So we have received the prices from the supplier, we have received the CHA freight and the CHA charges. Now we'll do the product costing before we go to the proforma invoice. So this concludes this session of the BAccuracy ERP tutorial. We hope you discovered something valuable in international business management today. See you in the next episode. Signing off.